Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Dado Show. So this is a live stream, but the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to just give some tips and tricks and things that not a lot of people are really talking about. So it's almost like are we trying to hide this stuff? Like really, what's going on? So the things I'm going to talk about over the next few minutes are going to be tips and tricks on how to run a better lap time, how to win races, and also we're going to talk about settings, balance of power, things like that. So, first of all, what are we talking about when we mean run a racing line? I'm going to show you right now. So, I've got another video that's coming out that shows you how to win this race. So, I'm not specifically going to focus just on this race, but what I want to do is focus on the techniques. Okay? So, it's very important that you guys understand that the techniques that I'm going to show you with this car, this is an N200 class Toyota 86 GT 2015 stock car, right? Bone stock. The techniques that I'm going to show you here relate to every single car out there, okay? So first of all, let's go into car settings. So this is a balance of performance, balance of power. So you see right here, it's BoP. So we can't adjust anything on here. All right, save a few things. So out the gate, I don't own this car, so every time I get in it, I have to adjust traction control. So I'm going to adjust traction control to 0. Sports soft tires, that's the only choice we get because this is a locked in daily race. Of course, we can't adjust any of this. You see it's all locked out all the way down. So normally what you would want to be able to do if you didn't have balance of power is you'd want to be able to adjust things like ride height, natural frequency, your roll bars, your toe angle and your camber angle, your downforce. You'd want to be able to adjust all this stuff, okay? You can't adjust this. And the reason why is they want this race to be absolutely equal for everybody racing it. Now, driver options, let's go in here. I always use a manual transmission. Did not start using a manual transmission until a couple weeks after getting the game, and then decided, see other people using manual transmissions. They're a lot cleaner on their lap times, and I started really studying what is it going to take to get a better lap time. All right. So use a manual transmission. I'm going to talk about this again in just a minute, but just go ahead and get used to using that manual transmission. Again, traction control at 0. I've got the expert settings on, and basically what that does is it turns off all of the extra stuff. So no auto drive, cone markers only for your driving line assistance. Braking indicators are off completely. You can turn those on if you're still trying to learn the tracks, but once you really get into using just the cone markers, the braking indicator is just in the way. It really is. You need to be able to make your own decision about how hard to brake, where to brake, and I'm going to go over all that with you. All right. Again, guys, this is a really important lesson here. Make sure that you turn off your active stability management, and that counter steering is your counter steering assist is either off or on weak. Okay. ABS, you always want to leave that on default. Don't go adjusting crazy with this. Okay. Now some guys are going to tell you to go in here on this section and make sure you adjust the sensitivities and all this. We're not going to mess with that for the time being. Now, there are some times that I have messed with that with certain cars that feel like they turn in too quickly, or they don't turn in quick enough on turns. So if I'm swapping from, say, a Corvette to like the GR3 Corvette, if I'm swapping from the GR3 Corvette to another car that doesn't turn in as fast, like the Audi, I might go and make that adjustment if I feel like that's not turning in fast enough, or maybe it's turning in too fast. I'll go ahead and go in and make that adjustment. So let's go ahead and let me show you what the racing line is. I'm going to leave this video up so you can always go back to it. Now I want to start out by showing you where the line is. So down here at the red is where you're going to want to be. You're going to want to drift out here on the straights and then come back down to the red. Alright, you're going to want to be right down in here, right on the red. Not on it so that your car gets unstable across it like that, but you're going to want to be right down there on it. Okay? Now let me show you what that looks like if you happen to be driving from the third person. You're going to want to be coming all the way out to the wall and then going inside. Now, I haven't been pushing it, so let me show you guys what that looks like at full speed. And if you're beginning this race, it's going to be kind of like this. And I'm a manual transmission, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold third gear out as long as possible, okay? Now when I say as long as possible, you want to get the very top end of third gear. I'm simulating the start of the race. So see where it brakes right here? You see that at 87 miles an hour, 88? You don't want it to do that, but you want to take it right up there to that 87 miles an hour, alright? And what that's going to do is that's going to make the shift into fourth be a lot faster, and it's going to keep you in your power band. Alright, so watch. All the way up to 87, 88. I'm going to shift. See there, we're really close to being in our power band already. There it is. That red coming up there, that tells you when you're almost at peak power. Now you never shift again in this entire race. Alright, so again, we're going to out and out. So out, in, out. That's how we're going to run the laps here. That easy. You guys have watched racing on TV, you know how to do this. It's really not that difficult. You don't want to tap the wall like I just did. Did you see that? That's not a bad lap time. 19.721. My record's a 19.633. And I'm using a controller, guys. So if I were using a wheel and pedals, the wheel's a lot more stable. And I know I could probably shake this down a little bit. But using a controller, this isn't bad. Now let me show you the difference. If you don't get all the way up into the top of that gear, let me show you what happens. So let's say you shift right when you redline. See how it's slower to pick up speed up to 88 and above? And it seems like the shift is actually slower too. I don't know if it actually is, but it seems like that shift is slower. So watch again, I'm going to go all the way up to 88. Picking up speed even faster. So I think that's just a much better way to shift. Now I've already showed you settings to use. Of course you definitely want to be in manual transmission. Get used to driving in manual. It's not that hard. Alright. So again, driving line is important. Now we're going to take what we learned here on this oval track and we're going to apply it to every other track out there. So you're going to want to use the out and out. Now, one of the things that you don't get to do on this oval track, well, you do with some cars. With the GR3 cars, GR4 cars, even the faster stock cars, you're going to be braking coming to those corners. But with the N200 cars, you're not braking at all. So again, I've done another video. It's uploading now. You'll get to see it where I actually go and win a race. This was just earlier today. I went and won a race here on the one make. Now let's go and let's look at some other tracks. And I'm going to be driving the Audi R8. And let's just go into arcade mode and do time trial so that we can really quickly jump into some tracks here. So Dragon Trail is a very popular track. kind of gets to be easy, I think, if you will. So I'm going to go on to a different track. Let's see, where do I want to go here? I want to show you guys something that's a little more difficult. So Mount Panorama, okay? Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this track. They recently had the 12-hour race at Mount Panorama. It was amazing. You can pull it up on YouTube and watch it, and man, it's an amazing race. They started it's Mount Panorama is in Australia. It is a real racetrack. All these racetracks are real, and they start at like 5:45, 6:45 in the morning, something like that, and run till about 5 p.m., 6 p.m. It's a 12-hour race. They use multiple drivers in each car. You know, it's really interesting watching this in real life and then being able to come and, of course, play the game. So what I always like to do is go check my settings. Now I want to do this like it's a balance of performance, okay? So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to leave this at 100 and 100, and I'm going to leave the traction control off, and I'm not going to have anything else set up special. So I'm just going to reset to default everything, just in case there was something that I had done. I'll put this back on standard, reset to default. Good. That way there's nothing that I've changed in the past that's going to be affecting this car driving. So this is just about balance performance. Again, manual transmission, racing hard tires all the way around, traction controls off, all the driver's assist, all those are off, with counter steering being on weak. Now, really counter steering's on weak because I'm using a controller. I'm not using a steering wheel, so there's that. So let's go talk about this course. This course has some real quick left and right turns right before the start-finish line, and one right after the start-finish line, and then it goes up into the mountains. This is really flat through here, as you can tell, and then it goes up into a mountainous area. So I'm going to show you guys a lap or two, and just want you to understand that, you know, I haven't run the Audi here at all. This will be a new experience for me, but with no traction control and knowing where to shift and how to shift and how much to get into the gas and how much to let off the turns and brake, I may make some mistakes, but we're going to talk through it, okay? So let's get on with it. I like the power band in this car, so it seems like as soon as I shift at the red line, I'm already right back in the power band. I know I can do about 80 around this turn. I'll save that for the next lap. This turn I'm just going to want to let off and then start gradually braking and downshifting for this uphill. I would normally go a little bit faster, but it is a part throttle right here. Let off slightly, complete the turn. When I say let off slightly, I'm talking about the gas, of course. Again, I'm trying to learn this car. Real hidden left right here. That's just squirrely on me. There's a long straightaway right here with a slight curve in the middle, or towards the end of it. A slight curve to the right, and then it's going to be a heavy brake. This is coming back down into the last section. There's that slight curve, the brake, 150 marker. On part throttle. so I don't lose the back end around this. Full throttle as I come out to the straight. Brake at the 100-yard marker, and I'm not fully braking, guys. That's something that you're going to have to get used to. If you go into fully braking with these cars, you're slow. Let's see if we can beat our time. I'm sure we can, because I spent a long time talking. After I do this, we're going to talk a little bit more about the techniques of it all. Tap the wall just a little bit. You see I downshifted there to make sure that I was in the power band. Loose there. The turn in is crazy on this car. I'm still trying to get used to it. So it turns in a lot faster than what I'm used to. I drive the Corvette quite a bit. And it has quite a bit of oversteer, this car. Which is fine. It's just something that I'm trying to counteract. Short shifting a little bit coming down the hill because I don't want to hit the rev limiter, because all that does is slow you down. And since we've got the downhill momentum, physics actually work in this game, so it's nice to be able to go ahead and let gravity take over. Go ahead and grab that once the gear. Did you see that? I took my tires just off the right side. That was all that was needed to send me into a spin. Looks like you're still going to beat the time here. Not a great lap. I've run much better laps. So one of the things that I want to be very clear on, and I haven't been necessarily explaining myself for that last lap, but I wanted to make sure you guys understood. So you guys see where I'm hitting the brake here on the left side. If you see the course map in the middle, directly to the left of that is the brake. Okay, that's what's showing you how hard I'm hitting the brake pedal. The one on the right is the throttle, so that's showing you how hard I'm pressing on the throttle. Okay, so see I'm about half throttle, and this is full throttle, and half brake, full brake. Okay, now the red is where you're braking too much. You're not actually getting any use out of that. Okay, so that's as hard as you can brake, and you can see that it's really not efficient braking, I guess I should say. So you can hear the tires squealing, and that's what that is you're losing traction. That's your ABS. It's the difference in the red and the white is the amount that your ABS is backing down your braking power. Okay, so see it's ABS is working just a little bit here, and then the harder I press, the more ABS is going to work. And the faster I'm going, you'll see ABS clicks on immediately. See that? So the red ABS light's clicking on over there, and that's telling you what's going on is it's reducing the braking power so that I'm not losing control. It's anti-lock brakes, ABS. Now, for these in here, I'm part braking. I'm not full braking, and then I'm not full throttle coming up out. I'm part throttle so that I don't spin. Because if I go full throttle through there, you will spin. Especially if you're following my example, being very reckless. But if you're following my example and you're using the manual transmission, you're using the no traction control. I'll show you guys right here. I've got no traction control. So that's just basics. Now, one of the things that I feel like I did this just the other day, but one of the things that I feel like I want to do with this car, like my brother and I did with another one, was we adjusted the brake balance. We did it with the Ferrari GR3 car, and I think I'm going to want to do it with this car as well. I've tried it out on a different track. We were at the Evergreen GP track, and adjusting the brake balance made it feel really good. So what I ended up doing, because steering on this into a turn and braking slightly will cause the back end to feel like it's slinging out a little bit, we're actually going to add some front braking. Alright, now I started at 5 and then I backed it down, and I ended up at a 4. I backed it down to 3 and it was not enough. You want a good effect here, so let me show you what I'm talking about. What it does is it's going to put more braking power in the front and less in the rear. So with this heavy braking situation, like right here, where I'm almost at full brake, and then I'm slacking off as I'm going into a turn, it makes it feel very controllable going into that turn. I'll show you again right here. I'm at about a 3/4 brake, and then I'm letting off as I get closer to the turn, and it just makes it feel so much better going into that turn. Let's run one more lap here. See if I can beat the previous time. You can see that I'm already 0.7 seconds ahead. That's good. I want to stay off the side there. Miss the brake point. Back in business here. Amazingly, I'm still ahead of my coast. See, I just felt a lot more in control there. Oh, of course we're going to beat the previous time. Remember, I spun out right there. No chance in the world that goes to catching me. So now, before I run a race, I would run probably in excess of 15 laps or so, qualifying. And the whole reason behind that is, you know, I just want to make sure that I know every inch of this track with the car that I'm going to be using. Alright, so let's get into how to win races, alright? So one of the things that is very important, the settings that I just talked about are very important. Another thing that you're going to want to make sure of, though, is that you know what gear you need to be in for each turn. And that's why it's very important. You're going to run, you know, I've run 4 laps here already. 2 of them were just crap laps, okay? But you're going to want to make sure that you know exactly what gear you need to be in for each turn. So when you come into a turn, you want to be careful not to come in too hot. So see, that was a good way of shifting down. Now I slowed down way too far, of course, for that turn. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to downshift like this. You don't want to, oops. Terrible example, I'm saying. Alright, So what you don't want to do is downshift where you're downshifting all at once, where you're holding that gear out and braking and then going like this. You don't want to do that, alright? What you want to do rather is use the engine brake and take advantage of that RPM braking that will occur as you downshift, okay? So for instance, as I brake for this turn up here, if I wanted to slow down, I would downshift like that. You see that? Now you don't want to go down too far, but yeah, you see what's going on here, right? Excuse me. Sorry, I had a little cough there. But anyway, you see what's going on there. So you don't want to just downshift all at once because you're completely negating one of the primary reasons for using a manual transmission. Alright. So again, you want to make sure you know which gear you want to be in. As a guide, there's a little flashing number to the right of your gear. Alright. And it will light up with the gear that you need to be in for the next turn. And then it will flash as you get closer to that turn and you're not in that gear. Now, that's a guide, so it says 2 right now. Alright? I'm going to brake, I'm going to downshift, and I will end up in 2. It wants me in 1 for the next one. I don't think I go to 1 for that. I'm still in 2. Now again, I have it running in the Audi. Yeah, absolutely, I go to 1. But it's only there for a minute. It's primarily for the braking. That's the only reason. Now, I may run this track 15 more times and decide that I really like being in second gear right there. And that's not a problem in the world. What you want to make sure of is that you're in your power band for that gear. So see right here in second, I'm not in a good power band. Power band doesn't start until right there about 7,500, 7,000 RPM. So if I was like at 6,500, fine. Even 6,000, that'd be fine. But I'm not. If I'm in third gear right here, that's a bad idea. See, because it's not slow, it speeds up. Now you don't want to do that. What you want to do is be in your power band. Trying to tell you, the manual transmission is the way to go because you can force it to stay in that power band all day. Now, another thing, just like staying in the power band, you don't want to hit your rev limiter, so you don't want to be doing this. Okay, you want to go ahead and shift as soon as you reach your maximum horsepower. Oops, that's a good. You want to reach your maximum horsepower and shift immediately. So as soon as this light turns blue above my speedometer, that's when you're ready to shift right there. Alright? So watch. As soon as it turns blue. Otherwise you're going to hit that rev limiter. You don't want to do that. That blue light is like a shift light. It's telling you, okay, shift. You need to go ahead and do it. Alright? Now, some cars, like the Corvette, they power lower. They make massive amounts of torque at a low RPM. Red line's at 7,000, I think, on the Corvette. So it makes all of its power down here. Now, all these cars are going to make lots of torque, low end. And what you don't want to do is create a lot of wheel spin coming out of these turns. So sometimes it's better to be in a higher gear coming out of the turns than it is a lower gear. For instance, if I'm in, oh yeah, see that actually feels good in that turn. I was full throttle coming out of that turn and I didn't spin the wheels at all. In the Corvette, if I did the same thing in the Corvette, coming out of a turn like this, and I gave a gas, and I was in a low RPM, it would just spin like that, alright? So you want to be really careful. You want to know your car, all right? One of the things that I don't want you to do is get out there and be racing and feel like you don't know your car. So you want to spend some time with it before you do any race, all right? It's very important that you spend some time with that car. So that's why I run, 12 to 15 laps. Usually there's some pretty good time in there, times for qualifying, so I can, try to start closer to the front of the field. If I'm starting in last place after I run 15 laps, maybe I don't know, maybe it's not my race. Maybe I need to not race this race or something. Let's see, what else am I going to talk about? Okay, how to win races. So we talked about everything. We talked about following the racing lines, doing the out and out. We talked about your settings, your manual transmission, traction control, braking, gearing, all this kind of stuff, right? One of the biggest things during the race, after you've done all this work and you put all this work into qualifying and learning the track and learning the racing line for that track, you want to qualify, of course. That's a good part of qualifying, but you learn the track, but then you've got to deal with all these other cars during the race. Now, one of the huge things that you need to start doing, if you're not doing it already, is avoid other cars, avoid confrontation. So what's going to happen when you avoid confrontation is you're going to increase your sportsmanship rating, and you're going to also increase your driver rating. Okay, now I had an A sportsmanship rating. You can find that over here on the right side if you follow my cursor. That's an A. That means I'm an A sportsmanship rating. Now S is the highest you can get. Alright, and then A is next down from there, B is next from A, and then C, D, and E. Okay, if you're an E sportsmanship rating, it probably means that you bump around a lot. You usually bump other people going into turns, you take a lot of shortcuts, that sort of thing. If you're an A or a B, you're up in the top, say, probably 1/3 of drivers. But if you're an S rating and you want to hang on to that S rating, what you need to do is make sure that you're not bumping other people intentionally at all. Okay, because if you bump other people intentionally, you're going to come down to an A. All right, now it also gives you a sportsman rating down if you get bumped by somebody. Any contact with another driver is going to give you a sportsman rating down. It may not be a severe point cut, but you're going to get cut. And with enough of them in one race, you can drop from an S all the way down to an A. Yes, in one race, it can happen. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is your driver rating. Now mine's a B right here. Okay, now let me show you something about driver rating. With sportsman rating, you can't really see it, but if you go to my menu, you can see your driver rating and how much to the next level you have left to earn. So I've earned this much a B, and then once I fill in the rest of this bar, I'll be an A driver rating. Okay, now your driver rating cannot go up unless your sportsmanship rating also goes up. And what I mean by that, don't let me mislead you. If you get, like, say I run another race and I go from third to first, but so that you would think my driver rating would go up, but if my sportsmanship rating at the end of the race is a red letter, so a red A, then my driver rating cannot increase. So if your sportsmanship rating is a blue letter, it means that you did good that race. If it's red, it means you did bad that race. You bumped other people, that sort of thing. If you have a perfectly clean race or close to a clean race, with one or two minor infractions where you tap somebody and it does not hurt their time at all, then you'll be a blue letter, all right? If you have a blue letter, your driver rating can go up. If you don't have a blue letter, your driver rating can't go up. So these work together, okay? Your driver rating is not going to bring down your sportsmanship rating, but having a bad sportsmanship rating can keep you from increasing your driver rating. All right? Now, I think that's all the stats I really want to show you on this page. So that's really it for driver and sportsmanship rating. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're not bumping into other people. If you stay out of trouble on the racetrack, number one, you can win, and number two, you're going to end up being with better drivers. So the A-class drivers try to avoid each other. All right, if you're racing with D-class drivers in the sportsmanship rating now, if you're racing with D drivers in the SR rating, they're going to be bumping you. You're going to be going into turns. They're going to be beating you up. It's just going to be an ugly race. You're going to need to be first or second in order to stay out of trouble in those races. Because if you're back in the pack, you're just going to be in a mess. So qualifying really high is key to get you out of those D and E ratings. Once you get out of those and you get into the C ratings, you're still going to have those turds that just want to just take you out. You're going to have to be careful and make sure that you go ahead, avoid them at all costs, even if it means losing the race. You want to get out of that C rating, get up to a B. Then people start avoiding you a little bit, but you'll still have the dick every now and then that'll try to bump you into the wall or ram you from the rear and make you rear end another car in front of you, which will then give you a bad sportsmanship rating. It's almost like misery loves company with these drivers. I don't know. They're like, I'm going to be a bad sport, so you can be a bad sport with me. And I wish there was a better way for Gran Turismo to get them away from me because I don't want to deal with them. But anyway, once you get up into the A ratings, it gets a lot better. People really try to avoid you and have clean racing. You don't feel as pretentious about. I guess is that the right word? Is that even a word? You don't feel weird, I guess, about getting close to other vehicles because you know that driver wants to keep his A rating or he's trying to get to an S rating as well. So he's going to avoid me. I'm going to avoid him, and we're going to have a nice clean race. All right. So when you get up into S. A little bit of bumping is going on, but it's real clean racing. It's not rear-ending you to knock you off the track. It's giving you a nice bump draft while you're going down a long straightaway. But that really doesn't hurt your sportsmanship rating that much. So get up into that S sportsmanship rating class, and then start working on increasing your driver rating and winning races, or increasing your place. Well, that's a beautiful car, isn't it? That's a Mercedes-Benz Vision. That is a beautiful car. So, I guess the other thing that I was going to talk about, well, I kind of already touched on it, was the balance of performance. So, balance of performance, we always get these updates down here, and it's really key to look at these updates. I guess it's blocking my screen right now. That's awesome. Anyway, what these updates will tell us is there'll be a balanced performance update, and they will tell us, hey, we're nerfing. They won't say nerfing, but they'll say we're taking the power ratio down on these cars and up on these cars, and it'll tell you, how much it's going up or how much it's going down. And that's important to pay attention to because see this notice of balance of performance update? You see that? All right, so that was December 21st. There was another one in January. But you're going to want to read those. Those are important because the car you may have been using for these races might have just gotten some percentage points reduced on its power, or it might have just had some weight added, which might change the way it acts on certain tracks. And you need to be very careful just settling into a single car because they are changing the way these cars feel. Okay, now we've gone over gearing, we've gone over settings that you need to have, we've gone over braking and making sure that you're easing into the brakes as you go into turns. I don't know if I touched on that quite enough. I may do just a whole braking session or something. We've talked about gearing. Let's see what gears to be in, going in and out of turns. We talked about the balance of performance. We've talked about racing line. We've covered it all in this video. So guys, hit a like on this video. If you have any comments or questions, maybe there's something that I didn't go over well enough and you want me to touch on, please go ahead and shoot me a comment and, get my attention so that I can go over it with you. Because what I don't want to do is, leave you guys stranded out there where it's like, oh, look, he's not answering our questions or whatever. But I just want to make sure you guys know I'm here to help, man. We're all in this together. We all love racing. Let's have some fun, right? Gonna be doing some open lobbies. If you guys are interested, try and find me on here. It's Dado BRX3. I'll show you my gamer tag real quick. Try and find me on here, Dado-BRX3. Once I start a lobby, love to have you guys come in and join. Once I start a lobby, I'm gonna basically go for 5 minutes and then start the racing. So it'll be, just GR3 or GR4 racing for fun, kind of like this guy's doing, and it will be just my lobby and my subscribers and friends. So would love to have you join me, and anybody else that you want to bring along, invite them, bring them into the race, and give them the room number or whatever. I'll do a live stream and publish everything out there. But I'll be doing that soon. Just really, really love this game. It's all about racing, and I've always loved racing. So glad you guys could join me. If you're reaching the end of this live stream, or you reach the end of this video somehow and you started in the middle or something, go back and listen to the beginning, because there's a lot of good information in the beginning of this video where we talk about driving line settings, gears, all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, again, submit them in the comments, and appreciate your loyalty and your subscription and all the likes. I really do appreciate it. Share this with your friends, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day.